I immediately got called by NCSoft. At the time, it was specifically Paragon Studios to work on an unannounced project that got canned. So I can't even show the world what I did. But then immediately worked on City of Heroes, which was a really interesting learning experience because like the engine was really old. And, you know, I came in with, you know, excited, ready to make my mark. And I'm just like, I'm going to make the most amazing superheroes. And here's like them wearing capes and scarves and long hair and being cool. And they're like, our engine can't do capes or scarves or long hair. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what can we do? And so that was fun to figure out. Then immediately short after, I went to Kabam, which was a mobile game company. And at first I was like, you know, I had the idea of like, oh, I want to work in like AAA studios and like big names and all that. But strangely enough, the team that was at Kabam was just as crazy as any AAA studios. I work with Brian Mattias, Alan Williams, Mitch Morehouser, Eli Maffei, and so many other amazing people there. And I learned a lot, and it was really, really great. I went to a workshop, similar to this, just a lot smaller, with Brom and Ian McKegg. And that's where I first met Ian. And when I met Ian, I was like, oh, he's so cool, and fangirl, and like really shy, but knowing that I have to throw that shyness away and say hello, and do the, you know, do the projects, and really, really work hard. And when I met him and I showed him my work, he was like, where are you? You're hired. And I'm like, hired where? He's like, I don't know yet, but you're hired. So we kept in touch, and I found out that he was in San Francisco. And I'm like, well, I know you like coffee, so if you ever need any recommendations or wish to have a coffee partner, let me know. And he's like, well, actually, yes, come to this coffee place and we'll meet. And that was the coffee place at the lot for Industrial Light and Magic. And that ended up being an impromptu interview. And so I was like, and I met the heads of the art, you know, department at ILM, Jennifer Coronado and David Nakabayashi, and they were just so amazing and so nice. And yeah, I got called, you know, afterwards, a couple months, and it was really funny because I thought I blew it. I thought I blew the interview because they came up to me, they're like, Karla, do you want to do 3D work? And I'm like, no. Which was tough to say to Industrial Light and Magic, because I'm like, I've always wanted to work here. And they're like, here's the thing we're asking you if you can do for your job. Can you do it? No. But I told them, I'm like, you know, like, I want to paint, and I'm willing to learn it. And if I like it, like, I'll do it. But I know myself, and I want to paint everything. So if that's not what you need, that's okay. I understand. But they called me on a Friday night to come in next Monday, which was very difficult because I had another job. So I secured a absence work and was there on Tuesday, not Monday. But yeah. And then I started working on projects that I never thought I'd work. I worked on, first and foremost, a theme park that was opening up in China. I don't remember the name, but it was really, really cool. It was lots of mechs and stuff like that. Then I worked for Lucy, a film made by Luc Besson, Jurrasic World, World of Warcraft. And it was just like mind-blowing to work on all these projects. Rogue One, I got a chance to work on Rogue One very, very early on, when it was just like an idea in, you know, John Knoll's incredible head. And he was like, this is happening, and we want you to explore what the cast and crew looks like. And we did like all kinds of like aliens and all kinds of robots, and we were just like, oh my God. And then we came up with all these designs, and then John was like, and yes, this is great. And in the end, oh, maybe I shouldn't say it in case someone hasn't seen it, but not a lot of good things happened to this cast and crew. And we were like, yeah, here's our characters, and what? So that was fun. But then like things got a little slow, as sometimes they do in the film industry. Sometimes it's really, really, really busy, and sometimes it's really slow. So they were like, we can't keep you right now, so please stick around. And I'm like, okay. But here comes Ian once again, and he's like, well, there is an opening in Marvel. You should contact them. And the first project that I worked on was Doctor Strange. And it was really funny because I came into it super early on too. And it was at the time where like they didn't know who was going to be cast. They were talking to some actors, but they didn't quite know. And they were like, okay, Karla, your first assignment is to do a concept design and think of actors that you'd cast and then kind of paint them to look like them, but not really. And so one of the first actors I think of is, oh my God, I think Benedict Cumberbatch would be so good in this role. And I send out my designs, and like literally 2 weeks after, it's gonna be Benedict Cumberbatch. And I'm like, I was just like, oh my God. I never asked if it had anything to do with it. I don't think it did, I think, but I'm just like, I summoned to him. And we went to many different directions, and where, you know, his costume and the style was going to be, at first it was going to be a very modern take on him. He was going to have a coat, and the cloak was going to be in a coat, and it was going to be really cool. But then they decided, no, let's go for the more traditional, because in the comics, you know, in his original journey, you know, he's wearing robes that are more akin to, like, you know, martial arts or something of that nature. And so they called me up, and I'm like, okay, cool. And so I had an idea, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna paint and have fun. And I painted that concept that got chosen for his costume in one night. And it was amazing. Ryan Meinderding obviously helped a little bit here and there and offered suggestions to make the design better because he's incredible. And I learned a lot from him. But it was one of those things where it's like, when they called me up, he's like, Karla, congratulations. I'm like, what? It's like, they chose your design for Doctor Strange. And I went like, what? On his poor ear. He's like, and I'm just like, yeah. And he's like, calm down. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so excited. But no, everything from the Eye of Agamotto, everything in his costume, like, I got a chance to work on. And when I saw it in film, it's amazing because they got it like amazingly. Like Alexander Byrne, I think, was the costume designer. I might be forgetting because I'm horrible with names. If I get your name wrong, I'm so sorry. But she did such an incredible job, like constructing everything and getting everything to look just like as we designed it, and it was amazing. Then after I got a chance to work on the upcoming Thor Ragnarok, that's coming in, really exciting. I was one of the first concept artists to join that project, and I got a chance to talk to the director, Taika Waititi, and it was just really, really fun because it was just like, hello, and he was so nice, super nice, really funny guy. And I'm a big fan of his work because you know, Hunt for the Wilder People is such a good movie, and like What We Do in the Shadows too. But I got a chance to work on that, and that one was the visual director for that one was Andy Park, who's just lovely, lovely human. And yeah, and then afterwards, jumped back to Black Panther, which that one I got to work on a lot, and I cannot wait for that movie to come out so I can share all the work with all of you. Touched briefly Infinity Wars. So that one was really cool too, to find out what happens to some of your loved characters. Oh, it's gonna be amazing. Now I'm working on Dark Universe, which is the Universal Studios, which is the reboot of all the monster movies. Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, Dr. Hyde and Jekyll and all of that. Jekyll and Hyde, sorry. And I'm really excited because I'm very early on in the project, so my work actually helps influence parts of the movie. Some scripts haven't even been made, so you're thinking of cool ideas where it's like, oh, this would be so cool. And then someone sees it and they're like, actually, yeah, that would be cool. So it's a really exciting space to be at. And that's where I'm at right now. And that's not even talking about all the fine art and gallery stuff. Like recently, we did Amour et Legend, which is, I'm probably butchering, but it's French for Love and Legends. It's a gallery show I did with Ian McKegg. So that's in Paris, and we just came from that. It ends on the 30th of September. Arludik Gallery. So if anybody has a lot of money and wants to go travel and still has some left, please buy before it all runs out. But yeah, no, it's been a crazy journey, and one that you don't expect.